During this presentation, I want to talk to you about the importance of starting with the experience. And to illustrate that, the impossible is possible. I want to use this picture as an example. Suppose we can go back in time, before the water coasters, rapid rivers, however you want to call them, were invented, and you would own a theme park. You already have roller coasters, you have Ferris wheels, you have a spectacular playground, you have great parades, everything. But that's not enough. So you ask your creative team to come up with something new. And after 1 week of thinking, multiple people present their ideas. A bigger Ferris wheel, a roller coaster with the biggest looping ever, a huge pink castle. And then this one guy says, I have a great idea. I'm going to make sure that all of our customers will have a lot of fun by making them soaking wet. And you reply, why should we do that? And this creative one answers, there is no other theme park in the world that does it. We will be unique. But people don't go to a theme park to get wet. They wear regular clothing. And he answers, in our park, they will get wet. It will be a water coaster. But how are you going to make all of them dry at the end of the ride? And the creative guy will answer, we don't. Our guests will figure it out. They adjust over time, bring raincoats, and other ones, they don't even care. They stay wet and walk around like that after the ride. It will generate big queues, you know? And you as the theme park owner reply, that's ridiculous. And he will say, people come to our park to get entertained. As long as the return is big enough, and in this case, a lot of fun, they will do anything. As long as we make them love it, like we always do. We need to treat them kindly, we make them feel unique, we make them curious, we drive them crazy for the unknown, and we help them in any way we can. But we will not fix all of their problems. So now you may ask, Rob, why are you telling me this? Well, just like a theme park, education isn't about preventing students to get wet. It isn't about perfect schedules. It isn't about staying safe and do exactly as we are used to. It definitely isn't about do as I do, or even worse, exactly as I tell you. It's about the experience we offer our students, staff and parents, and our broader community. Because experiences stay with you. You remember them a long time after this. It's how you get people engaged, challenged and motivated. And an experience is the hook by which you can remember smaller details later. That's where every good plan should start, with the experience. Not with how do we organize it, but with what will the experience look like? What do we need to offer our community? And how do we make them love it so they do the difficult part, in this case getting dry after the ride, themselves? How do we make them problem solvers? Because we need to raise the social independent networkers of the future who can solve problems together. Problems which we can't solve at the moment. For that, we need to give them and ourselves a nurturing ground with a lot of freedom to explore and experiment. So, start with the experience. Forget what you know about teaching and how schools are organized. We are institutionalized. And I'm gonna prove it to you.
Look at the diagram carefully. Now, I will ask you 4 questions about this square. Are you ready? Question number 1. Divide the white area in square A into 2 equal pieces. Easy, isn't it? Here is the answer. Question number 2. Divide the white area in square B into 3 equal pieces. Not so difficult. Here is the answer. Question number 3. Divide the white area and square C into 4 equal pieces. Very difficult? Here is the answer. Be ready. Here comes the last question. Question number 4. Divide the white area and square D into 7 equal pieces. World record is 7 seconds. Any ideas? Are you still puzzled? Here is the answer. Was it really that tough? If you didn't get the answer, it was just that your mind was conditioned to seek a complex solution.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you there is something wrong with the elements of education as we know them. Every element and every person within education has its value. But we are looking in the wrong direction. We are looking at these elements in terms of organizing them. And we are happy when it looks like this, nice and structured. But we should be looking at the individual learners. I'm not calling them students, because this is not just about your students. You are a lifelong learner too. Your co-workers are lifelong learners. We should start with every learner's experience. What do you want to achieve? Which elements do you as a learner need? What gets you engaged? And when do you need those elements? How will your experience look like? How can we facilitate it? And how can we connect your experience to the experience of others? Because personal development, also known as learning, isn't something you can do on your own. How do we make them love it so they do the difficult part, the hard work themselves? That gives them and us a lot of freedom to explore. Don't tell them they don't fit our system. Look at them individually, because as I was saying, there is nothing wrong with the elements of education, but the sequence in which we offer them doesn't serve all our students. We should use these elements to build educational communities which are appealing to our students, which serve them. Because let's be honest, you can build beautiful things out of building blocks. And building something beautiful is something else than structuring the building blocks. To achieve this, we need to get out of our comfort zones and into our stretch zones. That's where the magic happens. I believe there isn't a lot of learning happening in your comfort zone. Your stretch zone, that's where the magic happens. Really starting with the experience takes a lot of creativity. It's about dealing with uncertainties. When I do this speech in front of an audience, a lot of people look at me and I see them thinking, he wants me to be creative. Me? Yes, you. Because let's talk about creativity. I learned a bit about it while working with Google. Did you know that creativity is rated as a future top 3 skill in 2020 by the World Economic Forum? Only 1 in 4 believe they have permission to be creative at work, which in a way is quite sad. You might think you're not creative, but I guarantee you that every single person has been creative. I'm not talking about creating something unique by mind, like a beautiful painting. I'm talking about simple examples of creativity. When I was 5, my friends and I had a big problem. We wanted to play pirates. But my friend didn't have enough space in his bedroom for a life-size pirate ship. His parents, I guess, just couldn't afford it. Well, who can? And of course his bedroom was too small to fit a real life-size pirate ship in as well. All stupid reasons like that didn't allow us, or almost didn't allow us, to play pirates. But you know how boys are at that age? We solved it. We used his bed as the pirate ship. None of us asked, can the bed resist the waves? Where does he sleep tonight? None of that. We got creative and imaginative. Did you know that creativity is like a muscle which you can train. Research shows that creativity is genetically determined for a third and trainable for 2/3. And that's good news. It means we all have it from birth and you can train it. So, if you've unlearned, there is hope. What I also learned is that within the Google organization there is this special club, the Magic Academy. Their job is to promote creativity within Google, aka train the muscle. They have a definition on creativity which I want to share with you, and it goes like this. Creativity is the mindset and habit of approaching things in different ways with positive intent. I love that, with positive intent. For me it means be kind. When someone pops up an idea, or when you have an idea, don't start with the cons. Think expansive. Make the idea grow. What could we do? We can always be reductive later. For instance, after we've really done it, during reflection. I like to use an agile approach. Bring things to practice as soon as possible and reflect as fast as possible. Reflection is time well spent because you're not predicting the impossible. During reflection, you can stick with what goes well and adjust the rest based on practice instead of suspicion. The SUN technique is a straightforward method to help ensure this. I encourage everyone to use the SUN technique during reflection or when others present their ideas. The technique involves 3 key steps. The first one is to suspend your judgment. Hold off on forming opinions or making judgments. The second is try to understand them. Truly listen to the other person. Ask questions if needed to fully grasp their perspective. And the third one is nurture their thinking. Encourage expansive thinking. Build on their ideas. Help them grow their ideas. And support them in developing the concept further. And of course, give people the opportunity to put it into practice. The SUN technique and the stride zone often come with a sense of discomfort. And when that happens, you know that you're in your growth or stride zone. Learning and personal growth can never be far behind if you feel like that. If you want to start with the experience tomorrow, you can begin by letting them play. This allows you to observe and think about how to enrich their learning journey. Focus on helping your learners develop the skills to manage their own learning process. Don't start with planning courses, classes, or timetables. Instead, look at learners' needs first and create a plan together. Guide them in setting and achieving their own goals and challenges. You can start by asking them a simple question. What do you want to create, do, or learn? And from there, we proceed based on their response. Help them to discover their talents, interests, ambitions, and motivations. And this way, they will learn for life, not just for the next test. Thanks for listening.